Here with Dorian Wahdan, and yes, that is the way it's pronounced, right, Dorian?
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, you hear that murdered pretty much every track you go to, right?
Oh yeah, I get all sorts of different stuff, you know, it's all over the place, so.
What are the more common ones?
I get Wahdan, Wahdan sometimes.
Oh, you
It's kinda all
Wahdan,
over the
huh?
place,
So 3 syllables. Okay,
Yeah,
that's interesting. So, good year, bad year, something in between?
Something in between. I struggled a lot near the beginning of the season here. I tried out a bunch of new stuff, and I didn't really like it. I wasn't a big fan of it. I struggled, tried to learn it, but I went back to kind of what I knew, what I've always ran, and kind of started doing a little bit better, got it where I needed to. Found a couple little things. I'm hoping I got a good car for tonight.
Well, of course, a lot changed away from racing for this year. You got a job, and it's not in town, so you really haven't been able to spend quite as much time with the car, or have you?
Well, that's kind of in between. It's definitely more of a chaotic schedule than I've ever had. Obviously, I'm working full-time now, and kind of all over the place. Like you said, I got a kind of a little drive, but still, racing takes a lot of time, a lot of money. You gotta either be in it for everything or there's no point. So, kind of don't have a choice with racing. It's what I choose to do. It's what I love to do. So, kind of got to put that time in.
And you told me, because with your background and some things, and I'm not going to get into any specifics, guys, but there were 2 very different paths you could have taken. I don't think anybody would have blamed you had you gone the other way. What kept you from you know what I mean? You know, choosing the higher road, let's say.
You know, as much as I like to say, I think racing did have a good role in it. My whole life, I've always just wanted to be at the racetrack, want to be working on the race cars, doing everything I can racing related. Kind of, I mean, takes up all my weekends, most of my weeknights. I think that probably played a big role into everything, you know. I put a lot into this, and honestly, it's kind of a big priority for me. I do pretty much whatever I can for this, so, you know, I think that definitely played a big role into everything.
I think a teenager getting involved, you were 13 or 14, somewhere around there?
Yeah, I started racing when I was 14.
14, in the novice.
I've been at the track all the time. When I was growing up, I was always here.
Yeah,
with
your
my
uncle.
grandpa, my uncle. They've raced since before I was born, so kind of grew up. That's all I know.
Yeah, Jordan Bennett is his uncle, and Bob Bennett is his grandfather. And those 2, they really did kind of set the example, didn't they?
Oh yeah, definitely. And you know, I had different situation than a lot of people do, and kind of always getting hang out around the garage and with them kind of definitely helps.
Did you always know you were going to race, or did you hope?
I always wanted to. I always hoped, you know, always growing up around it. That was the plan. So when it got closer, I was getting anxious about it, but my grandpa got me a car when I first started racing, and you know, he supports me a ton. My uncle supports me a ton. My whole family, my parents, you know, everybody. I have a lot of support behind me, and definitely wouldn't be able to do what I do and wouldn't be able to race all the time if I didn't have all that support.
Mechanical engineering, right?
Yep.
Is your degree not electrical? Okay.
Mechanical. I do a little bit of it's a mixture of mechanical and electrical at my job, but I went to school for mechanical.
Okay. Was that a tie-in early? Did Bob and everybody kind of say, if you keep your grades up, you can race? Was there any of that?
Well, yes and no. I always knew if I get in trouble, I'm not going to be able to race, but I've always
so it's implied.
been a pretty good kid. I've always gotten good grades, never gotten into trouble, so, you know, I never really had to have that threatened for myself.
And by the way, Kylie, we're thinking about you. We're still praying about you, so we hope that you're going to be back to the track real soon. Tell me, the car might be out again with someone else behind the wheel.
Yeah, I think my uncle might take it out at
Jordy?
Jordan. Yep, my Uncle George, so I think he's planning on going out there. I'm not sure if it's Wednesday or Thursday. I think they may have changed it to Wednesday.
Yeah, I think it's Wednesday. I'm not
that's the plan. He wants to get back in the Sportsman. He recently got rid of the sprint car, so
he did. Oh, sorry to hear that.
But it was a lot, and you know, it's hard to get up to Can-Am every weekend.
It is. And it's Friday, and you got to work, so
you know, it's definitely tough. So you know, they got a lot going on right now, and I'm sure he'll be back eventually as soon as he can. So
I want to thank Bicknell, Troyer Race Cars, or Dirt Cars, excuse me. Of course, Garofalo's importing up in Oswego, Swift Springs, Gillies Napa, and of course everybody that's helped all the way along the way. Good to see you. Proud to say I know you, and I hope you have a good night tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.